Hello, my name is Professor Felipe Cavalero, and in this video we'll be talking about concord. More specifically, we're going to talk about grammatical concord. All right? For this recording, we have set a list of items to be covered. All right? So let's take a look at our agenda. So we will begin our video by talking about a definition on concord or subject-verb agreement. We will also advance a little bit and talking about the differences between notional and proximity concord. Then we're going to see how subject-verb agreement is done when we have collective nouns and certain expressions, all right? And for each situation, I'm going to provide you with some examples, all right? Are you ready? So let's go. First of all, we should think about a definition for the term concord, okay? Basically speaking, when we talk about concord or agreement, we are thinking about the way a subject and a verb must agree in terms of number and person. I have to consider whether I'm talking about a single element or more than one element. Okay, so a nice definition is the one present here in the slide. Concord means the agreement between the verb and the subject with respect to number and person. So, two simple examples. When I say Anna goes to school by bus, so I'm using the verb in the present tense, but with the inflection es, because I'm exploiting a third person subject, she, used here by the pronoun, the proper noun, Anna. And then we have a second example, Anna and Sophia go to school by bus. Now, there is no third person singular inflection because now I have a plural subject, all right? Well, we have also two possible ideas when we talk about concord. I may have the subject-verb agreement in terms of semantics, or I may also have the subject-verb agreement depending on the type of noun that is closer to the verb. The first idea when I talk about the agreement between the subject and the verb in terms of semantics is what we classify as notional concord. For example, if I consider the noun family, I may see family as a unit, okay, as an institution, so I say my family is special. I'm talking about the institution labeled family. However, if I think about each member of my family, my parents, my siblings, and so on, I'm not seeing it as a unit, as a whole, but I'm considering the elements or the parts of a group. And then I'm going to use the verb in the plural form. So when I consider family as a unit, I use the verb in the singular form. And then if I think about the members, I'm using the verb in the plural form. So this is the idea of notional concord, all right? Then, in terms of proximity, I'll have to pay attention to whether a singular or a plural noun is closer to the verb phrase. And this will determine whether the verb phrase will be in the singular or the plural form. For example, I may have the same subject in these examples, the student or the committee members, but if I have, depending on the specific sequence I have, I'll have to use the verb phrase either in the plural form or in the singular form. So as the committee members is in the plural form, I use the verb in the plural form. But if I invert, and if I say the committee members or the student, now a singular count now is closer to the verb phrase, and then the verb phrase is in the singular form and has the specific inflection to indicate the third person in the present tense, all right? Then we must also consider the notion, okay, of collective nouns and concord, all right? Again, I will have to consider whether I'm seeing, okay, the collective noun as a unit or whether I am exploiting the idea of members or parts. Okay, if I consider the collective noun as a unit, I'm going to exploit the verb phrase in the singular form. However, if I see the collective noun as a combination of a collection of elements or members, then I'm going to exploit the verb phrase in the plural form. So let's use a different noun such as jury, okay? So the jury has reached a decision. Here I see the jury as a unit, okay? However, if I say the jury were allowed to go home to their families each day, now I consider the members of the jury being granted the chance of visiting their families, okay, each day. So in the first example, I see the noun, the collective noun, as a unit, and in the second, I see the collective noun as a combination of members of elements, and then I use the verb in the plural form. All right? Well, finally, we should talk about agreement with specific expressions. So something similar to proximity happens when I use either or, neither or nor. So depending on the noun which is closer to the verb phrase, this is the type of agreement that is going to happen. So for example, when I say either my sister or my friends are here, I'm using the verb in the plural form because I have a noun in the plural form here, friends. However, if I change the sequence and if I say either my friends or my sister as the new sequence for the noun phrase, and then I will have to use the verb in the singular form because now sister is a singular count noun. The same holds true when I talk about an expression neither or nor, okay? If the plural form is the one closer to the verb phrase is going to be in the plural form. If the singular form is the one closer to the verb phrase, I'm going to use it, the verb phrase, in the singular form. And finally, when I use the expression none, when none refers to singular or a non-count noun, it requires a singular verb. So similar to the previous example. So none of the work was completed or none of the cake has been eaten. If it is used in a plural structure containing a plural noun, for example, none of the workers were injured or none of the crimes have been solved. Okay? So I would like to thank you very much for your time. I hope this video has been useful to you, and I hope to see you all in our next recording. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.